Hey folks, this is another video in a series that aspires to teach Google Apps Script's Calendar app to beginners. In previous lessons, we've learned how to create events, all-day events, reoccurring events, and how to change the color of our events. We'll resume by navigating to the Files menu, where we will be creating a new script file. You can call your file whatever you want. I'm going to call mine e_set_reminder and hit enter. That will be the focus of today's lesson. We are going to learn how to change, set, remove reminders for our events. You can keep the boilerplate code if you would like. I am going to clear mine out and begin by typing out the word function. I'm going to hit space. I'm going to call this function event, capital R, reminders. I'm going to open up a set of parentheses. If you are looking to add some automation elements to your application or project, this is the space where you can enter in some variables or arguments that you can pass into your code. I'm not going to be touching on that today, so I can leave this area blank. I'm going to hit the right arrow on my keyboard. I'm going to hit space. I'm going to add a set of curly brackets and then hit enter on my keyboard twice. The first thing I'm going to do is add 2 slashes for a comment where I will note that I am creating the event. And hit enter and tab. We are going to declare a variable, which you can call whatever you want to. I'm going to use the word event. And I'm going to set that equal to capital C, calendar, capital A, app. I'm going to hit dot, which will open up all of the native methods associated with CalendarApp, and I will be using the create event method. I'm going to open up a set of parentheses. I'm going to hit enter and then hit escape. If you've been following along, you've done this several times, so I'm going to be brief. The first argument is the name of your event. So I'm going to call this new event. I hit the right arrow on my keyboard. I'm going to add a comma. I'm going to hit enter and escape. The second argument is the start date and time of your event. So we're going to use new, capital D, date, and we'll open up a set of parentheses. There are a few different ways that you can pass date time to the date method. I am going to use a string. So I'm going to add a single quote here, and I'm going to add the date of my event, which is May 28th, 2024. I'm going to hit space, and then I'm going to add the time. I want it to be 2 p.m., so I'm going to pass 14:00:00:00:00. I'm going to the command key with the right arrow that will bring me to the end of line 6. I'm going to add a comma, which will open up the third argument, which is the end time of my event. I'm going to hit enter and escape, and I'm going to follow the same format as our start time. So I'm going to type new, capital D, date. I'm going to open up a set of parentheses. I'm going to add single quotes, and then I am going to keep this as a single day event. So I'm going to type in May 28, 2024. I want this event to end at 3:15, so I will add a 15 because it is the 15th hour. I'm going to add a colon, add 15 because that is the minute that I want to stop at, add a colon, and add 0 because I don't care about the milliseconds. I'm going to hit command on my keyboard and the right arrow, which will bring me to the end of my line. I'm going to add some options to my event, which need to be structured as objects. So I'm going to hit enter and escape. So objects need to be entered using curly brackets so that you can use object notation. I'm going to hit enter for readability purposes. You'll notice that there are no keyboard recommendations here or no editor recommendations here. You'll have to consult the developer documentation to know about all of the advanced parameters. If you've been following along, we've covered them. That documentation will be linked up in the description. For our purposes, I just want you to be aware that this exists. So I'm going to add the location to my event. So I just type the word location and a colon and then single quotes and an event location. I'm going to hit the right arrow on my keyboard, add a comma, hit enter, and I'm also going to be adding a description. So I'm just going to type the word description, colon, space, and then just say this event will have no reminder. So now that I've done that, I'm going to hit the down arrow on my keyboard once, down arrow on my keyboard twice. I am now outside of the create event method, and I'm going to hit enter twice. I'm going to align my cursor with the comment on line 3 by hitting shift and tab, and then I'm going to add 2 slashes for a comment. So before we go ahead with this, I just want you to see what happens when we create an event. So I'm going to hit save and then hit run. And I'm going to go to my calendar, and you can see that we now have a new event in Philadelphia where the description is this event will have no reminder. Now the problem with that is that we have a reminder here. So you can see 30 minutes before this event, a reminder will be sent to all of the individuals attending this event. So I'm going to delete this event and go back to my calendar app. So this is what we're going to be learning how to do today, which is how to set the reminder, how to change the reminder, and how to remove the reminder. So the first thing that we're going to do is remove the reminder. So we're going to hit enter and tab. So we are going to reference whatever you used as the name of the variable in line 4. So in my case, I used the word event. So I'm going to type event dot, and then I'm going to type remove all reminders. So I'm going to add an open set of parentheses. I'm not going to pass any arguments to it. I'm going to add a semicolon at the end, and then I'm going to hit run. And what this will do is our event, once it populates, just did, you can see it no longer has a reminder down there. So in addition to removing the reminders, you can also set the reminders. So we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to align our cursor with line 14 and line 3. So we're going to hit shift tab, 2 slashes for a comment, and now we are going to set a reminder. I'm going to hit enter and tab. Again, same structure. We're going to reference whatever the name of the variable in line 4 is, and we are going to use a dot, and then we are going to say set, and then, no, that's not the right one. So let's see where our reminders are. We have add SMS reminder, add email reminder, add pop-up reminder. So we have a couple different reminders here. So let's begin with an email reminder. So we'll have an open set of parentheses, and this merely just takes a number, an integer for minutes before. So you can see in the documentations, it says adds an email notification for 15 minutes before the event. That is 15. That's all you have to type in there. And the maximum that you have is 4 weeks, which is 40,320 minutes. And the minimum is 5 minutes. So let's set a 7-minute email reminder before the event. We'll hit run. Cool. Go to our calendar event here. And now you can see that we will get 7 minutes before, comma, as email. So we have established an email reminder. What we'll do as well is go to line 18, hit enter, shift tab, and now we will set a pop-up reminder. So we'll hit enter and tab, and we'll do event dot add capital P pop-up reminder. And this operates the exact same way as your email reminder. So let's have this set at 15 minutes just for some diversity. So we'll hit save. We'll hit run, and our event pops up, and now you can see we get 7 minutes before as email and then 15 minutes before. So we're just going to get a pop-up on our computer screen that will say, hey, you have a meeting in 15 minutes, and then you'll get an email 7 minutes before.